I'm excited to share with you the adventure guide for the Light Comes to Shadow Mountain unit by Ticket to Learning. The Adventure Guide is really the heart of the unit, and it has everything you need to complete a full unit study that covers all of your subjects. You'll just need to add a dedicated math program. Before we open the cover, it's important to note that this is provided as a digital PDF resource. It'll be provided in a digital-friendly format that has clickable links, as well as a printer-friendly format that takes less ink from your printer. You can also opt to get a print upgrade that will come spiral-bound just like this one. One thing that's important to note is that there's way more in this adventure guide than one family can use. It's not intended for you to do everything. All of it is here for you to pick and choose from so that you can build the homeschooling experience that works for your family. The only required resource for this unit is the book Light Comes to Shadow Mountain by Tony Buzzio. When you receive your digital file for your adventure guide, you'll also receive files with additional printable resources. These files are also available in your online account. You can access everything by lesson there to make it really easy and convenient for you. We also have some recommended resources. These are absolutely not required, but are provided as a way to help you meet your homeschool goals. The first recommended resource is the language guide. Now, our adventure guide does have resources for English language arts that include a final writing project that takes you step by step through writing a news report. There's a focus on similes and metaphors. There's also a focus on adjectives and all sorts of other writing opportunities throughout this activity guide. The language guide, however, gives you more opportunity to practice vocabulary, spelling, grammar, handwriting, and copywork. While there is plenty of science and history all throughout the adventure guide, some families prefer to have a more systematic spine for their history or science. We've got some recommendations that go directly with what you'll be learning in the adventure guide here. For science, we have Explore Light and Optics. This is perfect for your younger group. It's great for ages 7 to 10, and it's a perfect way to get their minds going and to help them to connect with some of the things they'll be reading in the story. We also have Electricity, which is perfect for ages 8 to 12. Electricity is a huge theme in our story, and this is a great time to explore that scientific topic. For history, we have 3 options. Nellie Bly and Investigative Journalism for Kids is a great way to explore the history of investigative journalism. Cora, our main character in Light Comes to Shadow Mountain, wants to be an investigative journalist, and her hero is Nellie Bly, so we felt like this was a perfect addition. We also have 2 resources for studying the Great Depression. The first is the Great Depression for Kids. This is great for ages 9 and up, and it has loads of activities and walks you through the Great Depression from the start to hope on the other side. Our other recommendation is a publication by Nomad Press. It's called The Great Depression, and it's perfect for kids who are more advanced or are older. This is ideal for ages 12 and up, so this is a great way to include older siblings in the mix or to challenge an advanced learner. One of the things unique to Ticket to Learning is our symbols. We've provided these to make planning super easy for you. We have 2 different kinds of symbols. We have planning symbols and subject symbols. You'll find the planning symbols throughout the activities in the Explore More section of your adventure guide. These are placed there to make finding the activities that are right for your family quick and easy. First, you'll notice the timer symbol by every activity. This gives you an indication of how long the activity might take for your family. That way you can choose an activity that fits the time slots available. The worksheet symbol means that there are additional resources available in your consumable files that go along with that activity. These are not always required, and they're often offered in multiple levels so that you can find the activity style and type that works best for your learners. The timeline symbol indicates an activity that would be perfect to add to your family's timeline system. If you don't have a timeline system, we highly recommend using a timeline binder. You can find more information about that on our website. The computer symbol indicates that this activity requires research. So if your child doesn't have access to the internet and ability to do research on their own, you'll need to do this activity with them. The box symbol means that the supplies needed to complete that activity are provided in the optional activity kit add-on. This makes more hands-on activities open and go, which can be a lot easier for you as the parent. The coming up symbol indicates activities that you might have read about in your reading for the day's lesson, but we don't have any targeted activities for that in the adventure guide for this lesson. It tells you what lesson you can jump to ahead in your adventure guide so that you can go ahead and explore those topics now. We also have our subject symbols. Like I said, this is a complete curriculum, and so the subjects that you'll find covered in this adventure guide are arts and crafts, arts and culture, culinary arts, current events, history, applied mathematics, social and emotional learning, nature and outdoor education, science, writing and language arts, and we also have some teacher guides and teacher helps and planning tips for you as well. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at what you can expect from a lesson. Let's dive into lesson 2. Every lesson starts out with a 2-page spread that's laid out like this. This is what I call our open and go spread. This is to make planning easy for you. If you're someone who's easily overwhelmed or you want a solution that doesn't take a lot of planning or prep, these 2 pages are going to be your friend. Every page begins with a read it activity. This shows you what you're going to be reading from your Light Comes to Shadow Mountain book. There's also a watch it. This is a video that goes along with the reading. You can do this video before you read or after you read, or you can omit it altogether. Each video will tell you how long it takes so that you can plan appropriately. You'll notice a lesson links QR code as well as a tiny URL. This is there for your convenience. It includes all of the links that you'll find for that entire lesson. If you come across a link that's broken, scan this code and check that page first. We might have updated it there, but if it's still a broken link, please let us know so we can fix it right away. Every lesson has 2 do it activities. These are going to relate directly to what you read. These are going to be open and go or low prep activities. You're not going to need a ton of time to complete these, and you're not going to need to find a lot of extra materials. Sometimes you may have a printable option from your consumables, and that will be indicated with a worksheet symbol. You can choose to do one of these activities, both of these activities, or if you don't like either of them, you can skip them and choose a different activity from your Explore More section. Some of the lessons include a map it activity. In this unit, you will receive a map in lesson 1 that your children will refer back to for various lessons throughout the unit. Whenever you see this symbol, you can pull out that map and locate the areas that we're talking about in the reading. Think and consider is where you'll find your discussion question. These questions are intended for deeper critical thinking to really get your children thinking. There are no yes or no answers here. What does it mean is a section where we pull idioms or phrases out of the reading that your child may not know what they mean or understand fully. So we pull those out and discuss the meaning here. We also have a list of vocabulary words. We don't go into depth or have any activities for the vocabulary words in this guide, but if you do want to go deeper with the vocabulary, you can always get the additional language guide, and there are loads of vocabulary activities in there. So this is kind of a basic lesson. If you do everything here, that would be plenty, more than enough. But if you want to dive a little deeper or cover more subject areas, you can go to your Explore More section. Each lesson has a different amount of Explore More activities, and each lesson will cover different subjects as well. All of these activities are taken directly from the reading, and we try not to force any activities. They all flow naturally from what questions children might ask when they're reading. As you can see, this particular lesson has a few pages of Explore More activities. There are some lessons that will only have 1 page or just a few activities. As you can see, it's easy to tell what subjects are covered in the activities based on the symbols. You can also easily check and see how long each activity is going to take. If you see the worksheet symbol, that means there's a printable that goes along with the activity. This would be a great activity for a timeline binder, and this activity has resources that are available in the activity box. Let's take a look at one activity from each page just to get an overview of what you might expect. We have some language arts activities here, but we also have this activity that's Introduction to Pack Horses. Our reading mentions what a pack horse librarian is, but your child might not have much experience with that. So we've included a 6-minute video they can watch, as well as a simple article that they can read. You can do both of these activities, or you can just pick the one that suits your children the best. After you learn a little bit about the pack horse librarian, you might decide to do this activity and write a letter to the librarian. Of course, you can do this with your own pencil and paper, and you don't need to print anything out, but we do offer multiple levels of this activity to make it easy for whatever skill level your learner is at. First, we have the librarian saddlebag, where your student can write the title of the book and illustrate the spines, the books that they would be asking for from their pack horse librarian. We also have this next level up that shows your child the structure of a letter and has blanks for them to fill in. They can write incomplete sentences or not, depending on their skill level. That's up to you as their parent. Then we have one that has the basic layout of the letter, but it has no writing on it. They get to fill in the entire thing. You can also make this more difficult by having your child type a letter and make it multiple paragraphs, whatever works for the level that your children are at. Next, when we turn the page, you're going to notice that there's a Nellie Bly mini unit here. This refers to the resource that we recommended as a spine in the recommended resources. In the back of the digital adventure guide, you will find additional resources to help plan this unit study so that you know how it can fit in with the rest of the unit. We also have this How to Draw Biplanes activity. Cora's best friend, Celie, loves to draw biplanes, so we thought we'd give your kids a chance to try their hand at it. We have a How to Draw Biplanes video, how to draw biplanes in 7 steps for students who prefer to read the instructions, and we also have an extra challenge for how to make a cut and fold biplane. On this page, you'll see we have 4 different subjects. We have science, nature, culture, arts and culture, and arts and crafts. You can do something big, like make a braided rug, or you can do something simple, like learning about the science of the harvest moon. On our last page for Explore More, we have coming up activities. These are all things that were mentioned in the reading, but not very heavily, and we'll be discussing them more later. If you want to, you can jump straight to these activities. Every lesson ends with an information center. This is where you'll find recommendations for books, games, movies, and loads of other resources that dive even deeper into the topics that we discussed in the lesson. This unit has 22 lessons, and in the appendix, we also provide some additional resources to make planning and implementing the curriculum much easier. In our printed appendix, you'll find planning pages for a 5.5-week sample schedule, an 11-week sample schedule, 1 lesson per week, some additional mini-unit planning helps. Your digital appendix will also include some fill-in-the-blank planning pages for the mini-units, as well as some additional blank timeline binder pages and a master book list that includes all of the books recommended in the information centers, broken down by picture book, chapter book, middle grade, so on and so forth. Our sample schedules that are included are here just to give you an idea of a way that you could implement this as a complete curriculum. This is by no means meant for you to follow exactly the way that it's written, unless it looks like it's just perfect for your family that way. But we've broken it down and show you how to fill in your language arts with spelling, handwriting, grammar, mechanics, assigned independent reading, vocabulary, writing, social studies, and science. And at the end of each of these sample schedules, we have also included a supply list so that you could know what you need for that week. I'm so excited to finally be able to share this resource with you, and I hope that your family enjoys getting to know Cora and Celie as much as I have as I've been writing this unit. If you have any questions, please feel free to let us know, and we hope that you have an excellent day.